Hey guys, Mark Kwok here. Today I want to talk a little bit about leather. So I talk a lot on this channel about elevating your things and I believe in high quality goods, and one of my favorite materials, and this is probably going to upset some of you guys that are vegan or care about cows a lot, but I just love leather. The way it smells, the way it looks, the way it feels, the way it ages, the quality of it. And I think I'm not the only one that feels this way. If you look at most kind of higher end quality goods, leather will start to be introduced. So one of the areas that I think leather can be really helpful for is when you're traveling or carrying things around, because it's generally a softer material, it looks nice, it feels nice, and it's something that will protect your things. And so I do have a couple items here that I would recommend as far as covering and protecting your things. So the first thing is something that I think a lot of people have, and that is a Dopp Kit. Dopp Kits are a must when you're traveling, all your toiletries. Sometimes people use Dopp Kits for other things as well, like wires or electronics and things like that. But for me, mostly it's around toiletries, medicine, so on. This one is from Brooks Brothers. I don't know if they make this anymore. I'll try to look for something that's close and then put it in the description below. But I love having a leather Dopp Kit. When you have a leather Dopp Kit, it just, I think, elevates any place that you go, any bathroom that you go into. You just plop this down and it feels like a luxe area to kind of take your things out from. At the end of the day, what's in here is just toothpaste and moisturizer and just random, everyday household items. Go with anything that you think has a great look, design, quality, feel, so on. I recommend a Dopp Kit for everyone just because having your stuff in just like a vinyl bag or something like that just doesn't cut it anymore if you're an adult. Like let's upgrade. Let's get yourself a nice quality Dopp Kit that you can take from weekend trips to long vacations and so on. Upgrade, get yourself a nice leather Dopp Kit. It'll be worth it. I think I've had this for like 7 years now and looks fine, and it's, aging well. Like, totally worth it. The second thing, I've talked about watches before, and my last video was about watches. I love watches. And one thing that's great for putting your watches in is a watch roll. This is a watch roll by Wolf. Wolf is a pretty popular company when it comes to, I guess, like watch accessories. They have watch winders. This is their watch roll. It's really nice. It's leather once again. It has kind of a suede internal. You can actually take this out and start putting 3 watches in here. There are bigger ones and smaller ones. You can have one that's just for 1 watch. But I just, watches, if you're into it, it's going to be quite an expensive thing. You want to make sure that the components inside are well positioned in any sort of like shock, or like if it's, you don't want them just like dangling around in your bag. Wolf, the reason I like this one is it's actually quite affordable compared to some of the other ones that look and feel like this. There's another company called Smithson, I don't know how you pronounce it, but I love their stuff. But this same watch roll I think is like 4 times this price. I think this one I got for like 80 or 90 bucks, which is not cheap, but it's good quality, and I think it does the job, especially if it has really expensive watches in there. Next, electronics. Your electronics these days are all metal, and you drop one of those things, it's gonna be a headache. This is an iPad or laptop holder. It's from a company called Grams 28. I'm actually a fan of this brand. I mean, I hadn't heard of it before, but they make stuff, and then like they have a certain limited quantity of them for sustainability reasons and so on. Super simplistic, super minimalistic, but this is where my iPad goes. This is where my smaller laptop goes. And I don't know, you just feel so much more secure when it's in something like this than if you're just carrying this metal thing around constantly without any protection. Not to mention, let's be real, like a lot of the reason I like to use leather is because the aesthetic value of leather and the longevity of leather means that you can carry something around for a really long time and not keep buying, covers and stuff over and over again. But also you get the ability to kind of like feel good about the aesthetics of this, right? Lastly, I do want to talk about something kind of random here, but it's just yet another kind of example of how leather can just work in so many different ways. This is kind of a utility roll. I got this as a gift. It's just suede in the interior and leather on the exterior, and you kind of like wrap it up like this, and then you wrap it like that. But man, this just feels good. It smells good, it looks good, and it's just all purpose, right? You can put a bunch of different things in here, right? If you have a tool set that you don't want those tools just all around your bag, making holes into your other bags and stuff, or into your clothes. So put them in here. It's gonna protect the tools from your other stuff. Anything that's metal or some sort of electronic, or maybe has like sharp edges, leather is a great way to just protect those things in themselves, but also from other things, right? You just don't want metals clinking against each other, getting scratches. Now, I know there are other materials that are generally much more affordable, and also they could look aesthetically just as pleasing as leather. I will say there's a couple things about leather that I think make it the winner compared to other types of materials. The first is just the way they age. When you're talking about like a nylon bag, or you're talking about, I don't know, something more Kevlar based or something like that, it just doesn't age gracefully. At some point, there's gonna be tears in the fabric, and it'll be functional, but it'll start to look really weathered. Leather also weathers, but in a way that just, I don't know, it just looks better as time goes on. I've had this wrap for, I don't know, I got this gift from my wife about like 5 years ago, and it's just like kind of beat up now. There's like scratches and just the coloring's a little off, but man, like every time I look at this thing, it's like, damn, this thing is cool. The other thing about leather is that you can actually maintain leather in a certain way. Like, again, if I think about material like nylon, like it'll just start kind of getting pilly or like messed up. And then when you want to try to maintain it, it's hard. Whereas things like this, you use leather lotion, you use leather conditioner, you can use like some sort of polish for any of these leathers, and eventually it'll like be kind of like it's new again. The other thing about leather is that it's timeless. Now, design-wise and aesthetics-wise and so on, leather's been used for so many decades that it's just something that I think you can always use and look good in, right? There are people that pass on their leather goods to their sons and daughters and grandkids as well. And that's kind of the beauty of some higher quality leathers. Now, you may pay more up front, but eventually you'll kind of reap that back because the longevity, the sort of heirloomness, the fact that it can continue to be in style forever and ever, that's just something that I gotta say I appreciate about leather. So there it is, my ode to leather as a great like holding material for all these different things. Get yourself a Dopp Kit, get yourself a watch roll, get yourself a utility belt, an iPad case. All right, thanks so much for watching. My name is Mark Kwok. I will see you guys on the next one.